Let's get jiggy with it. Y'all ready to get this party started? What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. And today is Wednesday, July the 20th, 2022. And the time is 2:45 Central. As always, brothers and sisters, got a powerful message scheduled for you today. We're going to jump right in. We're going to talk about how to live how to bring the future into the present. From the perspective of understand, you got one job, that is to be profitable. It's very interesting because we can't operate like the government. The government doesn't have to be profitable because they can just print money whenever they need it. Me and you don't have, at least we shouldn't have, a counterfeit printing machine. So we got to generate a profit. And it's interesting because when we talk about generating a profit, your only way, or the best way I should say, of generating a profit is aligning with the profit. By being a prophet, by prophesying. And the way that you prophesy is to understand the power of the creative process. So notice all of these P's that come from purpose, because the universe that we live in is an abundant, voluptuous, opulent universe. So creation is already finished. Your job is to line up with the best version of yourself, not to create yourself, not to make yourself. So it does not require you to work hard. You don't have to exude a lot of energy. You don't have to exercise blood, sweat, and tears. Your job is to simply understand that we live in an abundant universe and everything is already done. So if everything is already done, your job is to reprogram the unconscious, the subconscious, and the conscious brain. So that way they can align with the finished product. And so the finished product is already done. And so the problem is that we are playing this loop in our brain that we're probably not aware of. And that loop is the current habit pattern, as we talk about in all the shows. And so when I talk to people every day, my job is to assist you with being profitable. Now, being profitable is a mental disposition that says, I'm going to establish my imagination, and I'm going to use my brain. And my brain and my imagination are going to work together, or my brain and my mind are going to work together. And they're going to control my behind. So my body is not going to control my brain, and my brain is not going to control my mind. Because right now, that's what happens. The body sends you signals like, I'm hungry. And then you get up and you use your mind or your brain to go into the mind and find a memory of, let's say, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You made that before. It's stored in the mind. You use the brain to go into the mind to find a formula for making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Then you make it with your creativity and your imagination and your memories. And then that is projected into the body. You put it in your mouth. The body releases chemicals and tells the stomach, hey, we good now. And so the body turns off. So now we want to reverse engineer that because we are now creating a very new reality. Let's just say that everybody has decided that we're all going to be, let's just keep it simple. Like, let's just use my example. Let's just say that we all want to generate, $365,000 a year. Well, let's just round it down to 300. So we want to do, 300,000, let's say that's $800 a day. So we decided that we want to generate $800,000 a day. So now we got to be profitable. So the moment that you make a decision, the moment that the brain can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it. That means that it's already done. So if it's already done, if it already exists, then the law of being states, this is very important, because the law of being, like we talked about yesterday, is the law of assumption. which if you just assume, then with this law, everything changes for you. And you create a energy. And this energy is based upon a level of conscious awareness of who you really are. So that determines what, and that determines who you're going to attract. That determines what type of life that you're going to live. This is the formula that determines your reality. This is how you create the world. The law of being states that whatever you assume yourself to be, the brain and the body and God got to figure it out, not you. See, the problem is we get ahead of the brain. Now remember, the mind or the imagination is God. So I can sit here and I can close my eyes, or I can lift my eyes open and I can imagine. So $800 has been deposited into my account. For me, it's $1,000. Let's just go with my example. So for every day I got to deposit $1,000 into my account, no matter what. So every day I tell myself, I'm going to figure this shit out. Every day we got to figure out how we're going to generate $1,000 a day, because that's my definition of profitable. Because you got one job, that is to be profitable. That is to produce fruit. That's why you're on the planet. Now you can make yours $100 a day. You can make yours $200 a day, $500. Mine is $1,000. So if I'm going to generate $1,000 a day, I got to be able to, number one, I have to be able to see it, and number two, I got to be able to feel it. So if I don't know, what does it look like? So thankfully, I can go in my memory and I can find a lot of days where I've made $1,000. So I know what it looks like and I know what it feels like. I remember what it feels like. Now, if you don't have those memories, then you have to create them by using your imagination. So let's say something that I've never done. Let's say, okay, I've never purchased a private jet. So if I want my own jet, I have to be able to go into my mind. I got to be able to see a picture of a jet. So let's say I have no idea what a private jet looks like. Well, thankfully, we got the internet. So I can go to the internet, and I'm doing this right now as we speak, by the way, because this is one of my goals. So I go onto the internet and I type in private jet for sale in, let's go Texas. So I type in private jets for sale, Texas. I click on images, and I pulled up a plethora. Ooh, wow. The first one that pops up says new or used jets for sale, Texas, sourcecraft.org. So if I go to sourcecraft.org and I put up these jets, I'm looking at these jets and I'm like, damn, these are pretty nice. And these are private jets that's for sale. And they got different types. So I'm looking at one and then they got types of men. So this is I see a Cessna private jet, turboprop. So price range $200K to $2 million. To get a used one or a brand new, $2 million for a brand new private jet, $200,000 for a used private jet. So again, using this as my example, if I'm going to purchase a private jet, now number one, I got to know exactly what the jet that I want looks like. And number two, I have to know exactly what it feels like for me to go to the runway, say, yo, what's up, pilot? Or if I am the pilot, in my case, I would just hire a pilot. Say, and the pilot say, Doc, where we going today? Man, we're going to have lunch with Paris. Me and my boo-boo, we're going to have lunch in Paris. So we board the plane. Now, all of this is in my imagination, going on in my head right now as I'm talking to you. We're walking walking into the plane. We step up into the plane. We go, grab a seat, give the thumbs up to the pilot. The pilot fires up and zoom. We obviously, what does that feel like? Well, number one, it makes me feel the way I feel right now. That is, I'm in a state where I feel like I'm a rock star, like I have status. And these are all of the symbols that come with status. And I have what some people call respect. I have admiration. In fact, I have all of the attributes, the 7 attributes and characteristics that an alpha male requires getting on that that's what I feel. So every day I make sure that I'm profitable by feeling respect, by feeling like I'm trusted, accepted, valued, appreciated, admired, encouraged. That all gives me a mental disposition of peace, because that's the end game for me. Now, for the ladies, you guys are, hey, I got to be the number one. I need to be the number one person in your life. I need to know that you over and understand how to show me you care by action. I don't need no lip service. You can tell me you love me, but I need you to show me. It's like all ladies are from the show me state. Number two, I need you to listen to me without offering solutions or judging me. Number three, I need you to acknowledge my rights and my wishes and my dreams, because I got a brain and it works. I don't need you to act like you're the only Negro with a brain. Number four, I need your support, not from the perspective of monetary, but from the perspective of cherish, make me feel special. Number six, I need you to accept and confirm my feelings. Every time I say, honey, I don't feel, well, why do you feel like that? I don't need you to override my feelings. These are my feelings. I need you to validate them. I need you just to reassure me and offer me some security. And men, if you do that, you'll have a woman for life. And ladies, if you do the opposite, you have a man for life. That's what that feels like. That's why I do it. That's profitable. So the problem is, most people don't live there. Most people live in a place where they don't feel those 7 attributes and characteristics for the woman and the 7 attributes and characteristics for the man that makes the body and the spirit feels like prophet. I am a prophet, so I can prophesy. Now, the law of being and the law of assumption, like we talked about yesterday, that is some crazy shit stuff for you Alkeebulans out there. What that mean, Doc? Well, that just simply means that whatever you assume is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Wow. Let me say it again. So you mean to tell me I'm prophesying doom and gloom to myself? Why would anybody do that? See, everybody today, you got to learn how to live. You got to bring the future into the present, and you got to live there. Even though it's not here, you got to live there. You got to live in the future now. You got to bring the future into the present now. Now, that's a little rough for the average Alkeebulan. Why is that so rough? Because the present is so loud. Why is the present so loud? The present is saying, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Everywhere you go, somebody's fighting for your attention. And what's fighting for your attention? Are problems, distractions, because that's the only way to keep you out of the future. And that's the only way from making the future the present. Because guess what? There is no such thing as past, present, and future. They all exist simultaneously. You select which one collapses based upon your focus, your discipline, and your order. Now, let me make sure you understand what I just said. Because many of us, we think that the future is like a distant star. We don't understand that when you select a feeling, that is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So your prophet comes from how you prophesy. You are a prophet of prosperity based upon how you prophesy to yourself, based upon how you assume, because what you assume is what you predict. So you are making a prediction right now. Why? Because right now you are either feeling good, you're feeling bad, you're feeling tired, you're feeling nervous, you're feeling scared, you're feeling right now. And if you're not aware of how you're feeling, and if you don't consciously control how you're feeling, woo-wee! That's like playing in a busy intersection blindfolded. You're going to get ran over just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. Eventually, somebody's going to plow right into you. Why? Because you're not profitable. So the universe only responds to probability. The universe only responds to the law of being. The universe only responds to a made-up mind. So what kind of relationships do you have? What kind of friends do you have? How do you communicate with your family and your friends? Where do you work? What is your business? What is your career? What is your income? I just said, 1K a day. How's your health? How's your overall energy? You know, how is you get along with your mother or your father or your in-laws or your outlaws? How do you think internally? Now, ask yourself, who are you being in the 4 main areas of your life? And ask yourself, what are you being? Who and what? Now take a minute. Who are you? If you close your eyes and you ask yourself, at your highest possible level, who are you being? What is the highest version of yourself? What is the highest? Now, I know what you're thinking. I know where you're at now. But where are you? Can you see it? I can see it. Damn, I can see it. Can you see it? Oh, snap. I can see it, man. I can see the highest version of myself. Now, once you look at all 4 areas, who are you and that person you see in the future? I need you to feel that feeling in the present. Damn. Come on, preacher. I need you to bring the future into the present. I need you to bring the image and I need the feeling. You got to have both. One without the other, your dog don't hunt. You don't got a hunting dog. We need hunting dogs today. Your dog got to be able to hunt. You got to be able to feel it. Because if you can feel it, you can reel. You can draw it into you. So the stronger the feeling according to the universe, the faster you reel it. R-E-E-L, not R-E-A-L. So, see, I can see the future in the present, and I can feel the future in the present. I can feel it in my bones. Can you? So I can see wealth. I can see health. I can see wisdom. I can see getting my toes curled. What about you? Can you see the future right now in the present? So the hardest thing to do is not only see the future in the present, but to continually exercise focus, discipline, and order in the present. Now, brothers and sisters, what I just gave you was a secret to life. So let me give it to you again. In order for you to win, you got to go within. This is a mental war of seeing and feeling your highest possible good, because that creates the highest possible frequency. Last night I watched for the 10th, 11th, 12th time Free Guy. I videotaped 2 portions of it because those 2 portions of Free Guy, if you understand it, this guy didn't exist. He was an algorithm just like you. We don't exist, we're algorithms. We're programs. And the only way for you to exist, which means to get out of your program and write your own program, is if you encounter unconditional love. The movie Free Guy is crazy. I think I just can't, every time I watch it, it just blows my mind. Now I understand why Groundhog's Day exists. You're doing things like that you don't love. So it doesn't write the code. The way that you become a God and a God kind and a God class is to override your current code with a new code. And that new code I wish I could play it for you, but I don't think because the audio didn't come out that great. So I may try to do it again. I did a show already on Free Guy, and I may just break down that one part of the movie Free Guy where he did the whole thing, and the guy said, all I got to do is reboot the game. He reboots the game. He wipes his... All this is exactly that's inside of the book of creation that happens to us. Now, I don't know how to tell you this other than this. I'll be honest and tell you the truth, man. I know that just like in the movie The Free Guy, when they told him that you don't really exist, we exist. In Westworld, the guys, the people who walk around shooting everybody, killing everybody, and they reset it, that's their playground. Earth is a playground for fallen angels. You are their bitches and hoes and punks and I don't know what a derogatory term that we could use to describe, you know, the way they see us. Remember, they see us as cow. But we got the potential because we have the God spot. Now, that should make you very happy. Most people, it doesn't make them happy because they don't know how to be God. So I'm just explaining to you how to get out from being a peasant and to be a priest, to be the same or above the guy that programmed you. Because the same way artificial intelligence works is the same way you work. Because you started out that way and then you can take on a life of your own if you level up. In the movie Free Guy, he sees the girl of his dreams. And immediately his code is broken. Because now he has something that nobody else in the game has. He has a feeling that is so powerful, it makes him do risky shit. I got that feeling. Do you got it? Now, when I say risky, you got to go back to what we talked about in the God time, in the God class. Because it's risky for us because we are persons who've forgotten or our memories been wiped by these freaking gods that are not gods. They're acting like gods. So that's why the book of 2 Thessalonians tells you you can't break the code unless you have the love of the truth. That's why Groundhog Day exists. That's why you can't be profitable. That's why I do these shows and we do these same talks every day. And you cannot evolve because we're not over an understanding because they know that chaos creates confusion. And that creates disillusion. So you dissolve. In the movie Free Guy, they specifically tell you step by step how to get what the church calls saved. It's so sad because they hide it in all the movie Thor, Black Panther, Spider-Man, oh man, freaking my boy, the Hulk, all of the Marvel comics, Avengers, all of the movies, Fantastic Four, they all tell you the same thing. There's always a guy, and he gets some superpowers after he falls in love. Or there is a guy who wants the girl, but he's a geek, even with Superman. And in order for him to get the girl, he got to become his true authentic self, a superhero. It's the same story in every superhero movie on the freaking planet. And yet we still walk around and we don't want to be superheroes. We don't want to be rock stars. We want to be groupies. I mean, not us, but those other people. Because we ain't been animated. We haven't seen. Now remember, in the movie Free Guy, the guy, he see girls every day. But he's programmed for one specific girl. So are you. That's your twin flame. That's your soulmate. Now, you probably don't know it. But there's somebody, they don't have no flaws to you. There's a business, like I'm in my business right now. Like, it was crazy this morning. Underwriter calls me early this morning and say, Mr. Rogers, we need proof. This happened. I remember I told you guys the last time. Every single time, Mr. Rogers, we need proof. We need more proof that you do what you say you do. I said, what do you mean? Well, we need transactional statements showing that you got customers. We see the money. We know you got the money. We see this, we see that, but we don't, they don't say we don't believe you, but they're saying we don't believe you. And then my bank account, I got like 3 or 4 different bank accounts. They're in my name, they're not in the business name. I only got one, and the bank account, and all my stuff comes in through like PayPal and Cash App. So the bank is saying, well, we can't use that. And I remember this is the same thing that happened last time. And we're supposed to be closed on Friday. And the underwriter called me this morning telling me that, we got a problem. I'm like, no, I ain't got no problem. I'm like, you got a problem. As soon as he told me that, I said, hey, okay, I'm good. I will go with the other lender. So remember, I had 3 lenders. I just paired them against each other. So this was the guy that came in with the best rate. And he was all giddy. I already knew it. I already told him, man, so you just saw the wife's face. Stressed out. Because basically the guy was saying, now we're getting ready to supposed to close, like, what day? Wednesday? Like, yeah, Friday. 2 days from now. And then the guy telling me, I'm sorry, we can't, like 2 days before closing. I guess he thought I was going to get it. I don't know what he thought. Then he hung the wife. He called the wife. He was talking to her. She go back to the phone. I say, man, hang up. So he hung up on his face. He hung up on his face. He called me back. Oh, I didn't even answer. He emailed me. I didn't respond. Then he texted me. Well, if you just show, any type of proof that you had income coming in for the month of July. What? So I sent it to him. Okay, that's not good enough. We need it in a PDF document. Now, white folks don't have to do this shit. At least the ones I talk to. So I'm like, no problem. But I told him, I'm going to send you this PDF document. Do not call or text me back unless I will see you guys on Friday. If not, we're going with the other lender. So I'd already emailed the other lender and said, we may have to pick back up the process again. So as I talked about yesterday, I don't react. I enact. I reframed the narrative. He told me, and look, we need, and it was some like private stuff, like names of customers, proof that payments are coming in, proof that the bank is connected to the business, proof that's in there. I ain't doing all of that. I immediately changed the frame. No, I told you guys yesterday, this is going to happen to you too. Remember, whatever you talk about, you got to prove. So all the shit I come on the show every day talking mad shit. So every day I got to step up to the plate because the devil's listening. If you want to use that term. Because the enemy trying to, he want to make you look bad. But the enemy is just yourself. So it just reminded me, okay, what is my highest value? How do I see myself? So did I see myself? Shit, I'm already in that new house, man. I'm already there. I've already moved. I'm already working in my office. I already see my gym in the garage. I already got everything set up. I'm already flying around the country. Said I'm already in Vegas getting ready to set up to do the Alpha Male Boot Camp. And this fool is trying to mess up my plans? Nah, bruh. I don't think so. Homie, don't play that. So I have something called emotional intensity. You might want to get you a little of that. Now, it's not at people because people are just being used for your benefit. So all I did was, I remember I'm a spiritual engineer. So I re-engineered the spirit realm. I reframed the narrative. I know who I am. I know exactly what I want. I have my standards. I never react. I only enact. And I'm always cool, calm, and collected. So that's what I did this morning. So he called back up, Mr. Rogers, we good. We'll see you Friday morning at 10 a.m. at the title company so you can close, get the keys to your new house. Okay, that's more like it. That's what I thought. You see, brothers and sisters, everything in this life is an illusion. It's all fake, just to see if you refuse to be who you say you are. I don't know if you guys remember, we did a series back called Let There Be Money. And I was talking about Mark chapter 12, verse 29. And I was talking about, under understanding this whole idea of money. Because it's not about, remember, it's not paper, it's not things, it's not ideals. Money is a being state. And every day you gotta, it's crazy because you gotta make that same, when I was young, I thought you could just choose to be rich. Or like marriage, you could choose to be married. Like you get married and then that's it. You gotta choose to be married every day. You don't just get married one day and you're done. Every day you wake up, you got to choose. And if both parties got to choose to be married, if one person chooses and decides not to be married, then the marriage is over. Now, the other person might not know it, but it's pretty much over. Well, money is the same way. Every day you wake up, you got to make the same choice. So you got to be firm, fair, and consistent. You got to have focus, discipline, and order. This is what I call a victory state. You got to have a victory state of mind. So I am an image engineer. So I have a formula. The word formula means, or it's spelled Formula. It is FOR for MULA. That's short for money, moolah. So you need a formula if you want moolah. What is the formula? Well, age doesn't exist. Age is a spell. The only reason that you age is because you celebrate it. That's why I stopped celebrating aging a long time ago. So when I have birthdays, like I was telling the kids the other day, they try to make this big plan because I got my birthday coming up. And they're like, they don't understand. Like, Dad, we don't understand. This is your, blank birthday. And I say, nope, this is my 30th birthday. I'm just stuck at 30. They say, okay, Dad, you want to lie to yourself, but, we want to celebrate you. Okay, shit, you can celebrate me, whatever. But I'm not going to celebrate aging. I'm celebrating vitality. I'm celebrating prosperity. I'm celebrating wealth, health. I'm celebrating time because it doesn't exist. Unless you choose, then you age. You only age if you celebrate it. That's the power of the mind. So how you think about how you think determines how you think. Damn. Somebody should write that shit down. Now let me say it again because I don't know if you got it. See, your job is to turn off your negative habit pattern. You got to get off the treadmill of your past. This is damn impossible. The only way, remember, you can't stop business. You can only start. So you got to start this peak performance using clairvoyance, life management system, and focus, discipline, and order. That's why I'm trying to teach this to every young Afro-American on the planet. Because guess what? We would change the world. Because we would not be slaves anymore. So we can't get punked anymore. How's that? Well, there's something that you don't even realize that you're doing. Only gods, as I talked about yesterday, can even be aware of this. See, when you get to this level, you know how to train. You know how to train the brain. And your job is to remember that there's as I talked about before, a battle. We broke down the word battle, bait, and all that stuff. That just simply means that you're always getting tested. Like men, your woman would test you in a relationship by saying crazy stuff. She doesn't really mean it. She's just testing you to see if you're really in the relationship. Or you're just waiting for an excuse to exit stage left. Well, money will test you to see also. If you say you want to make $1,000 a day, well, everything's going to go wrong just to see if you really want it to go right. Because if you want it to go right, what are you going to do? You're going to figure it the out. That's going to be one of my t-shirts. Figure it the fuck out. Because when business hits the fan, or the fan, what do? Some people cry. Some people go home. Some people call their mama. Those are mama boys. Those are alpha males. Those are skinny jean wearing Negroes. But some Negroes, we got balls. You man up. And you figure it out. Or you punch somebody in the mouth and you take their shit. It's pretty much that. That's simple. You either predator or prey. Now, eventually we get to the point where the lion will lay with the lamb. But you got to be a lion or a lamb. So you cannot be a lamb in the midst of a bunch of lions. You're going to be lunch, bruh. So you got to know how to be a lamb, but you also got to know when to be the lamb. Now, this is extremely important, brothers and sisters, because every day things happen. The days until, like, with this house buying thing, today's Wednesday. Man, that means there could be more game playing tomorrow. Because tomorrow's Thursday. Until you get the keys, unlock the door and walk in like driving a car or buying a car. Same thing. So even though the guy's like, oh, let's get it. Tomorrow I could get another car. So remember, this has been going on for 10 years, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But I'm already aware of that. So I'm already prepared for that. And so your job is, where am I at though? Well, I'm not here. I'm already inside the house. They don't know that because they are not gods. I'm dealing with peasants who think that a God is going to come down off the mountain and deal with a lower vibration. So in the movie Free Guy, he meets the girl of his dreams, but she told him, you're an NPC. Now, an NPC is a non-player character. So that's the average Negro. The average Negro is an NPC. Now, an NPC means you got no consciousness, no awareness. So in the movie Free Guy, he don't have glasses. Only the people with glasses are what they call player characters. Those are people sitting at home in a chair with a controller in their hand, controlling the character in the game. So you are either a non-player character, that means that you're nobody. That means that you just there for decoration. You don't have a conscience. You what is called an organic portal. That means that you're owned by and created by the game player just to be used. Now you can develop from an NPC to becoming a player character. But what it simply means that now you make decisions. Now you got autonomy. Now you got control of your life. Then you can go from that to actually getting out of the game and actually create your own game. That's what Westworld is all about. So that's what we're talking about. And the way that you do that, number one, you got to be able to see it. Number two, you got to be able to feel it. And then number three, you got to be able to maintain it. So if you do those three things, your future comes into the now, because the brain doesn't understand time. Because the brain knows that there's no such thing as time. The mind is outside of time. Brain is outside of time. The only thing that's inside of time or inside of the time or inside of the game is you. But you're in this world, but you're not of this world. But you think that you are in this world and you are of this world. Oh, but you went to church, but you didn't read that. You didn't read that scripture, and we really don't have a clear understanding of what that scripture means. I've never heard a preacher. You ever heard a preacher break it down? So you are in this world, but you're not of this world. For that, what that means is that everything already exists simultaneously, but we got to get into what is called an awakened state. That's the awaken. You got to awaken your imagination so that your imagination can incorporate, work with your brain to change your interpretation. So right now, you're interpreting things based upon 3D, but we don't live in 3D. We are in 3D, but we are not 3D. What? Yeah, we are in 3D, but we're not 3D. See, If you ask yourself, who am I being in the areas of wealth, health, wisdom, and relationship? Because who you are being repels and attracts everything you want in your life, your relationships, your friends, your family, your career, your finances. What else? Your hobbies, your health. Your entire life is created by the way you are assuming yourself to be. So if you woke up this morning and you assume that you're poor, you cannot have a rich thought. If you assume that you're sick, you cannot have a healthy thought. If you assume that you're fat, you can have a skinny thought. So you cannot have a thought outside of your assumption. Let me say it again. Your assumption is a program. However you assume yourself to be, that's how you be. Let me say it again. However you assume yourself to be, that's how you're going to be. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I'm recommending, in fact, you got a choice. If you want to, again, operate on a level where there's no devil, peak performance, what do you got to do? The assumption life. The assumption. That just simply means you bring about what you assume about, which is another word for feeling. You bring about what you feel about. So let me close with this. I gotta go through another housing inspection. But let me try to break this down, not try. Let me break this down by going into my future, and I'm going to bring my future into the present. In the future, what do you see? If you close your eyes and you look into the future, what do you see? The way or the who and the how you are being determines your thoughts. Those thoughts then cause your emotions. Those emotions then cause your actions or your lack of action. And those actions or lack of action cause results. And your results are reinforced by your beliefs. This is a pattern. This is a revolving. This is a circle. So by getting to the core of who you really are, that recreates the cycle that you realize in your life. So all I want you to do today is get to the core of your highest feeling state. Now, there's a lot of things like I like. That's like, I'm going to say highest, but I don't feel. They don't create a feeling. In other words, let's just say if you were in Africa where they have some tribes where as long as you have enough goats, you can have as many wives as you want. Now, when I was a young man, I used to say, man, that polygamy, man, that'd be awesome. That'd be good. Until you have to deal with and manage multiple people. So without that experience, when I was 21, I had that feeling that said, I like that state. I want that in my future. Bring back, polygamy. Well, I think it's called polygamy, right? Where you can have more than one wives and blah, blah, blah. You got 5 wives like King Solomon. Man. Because, little head thinking for the big head. But then you get some experience. You get some wisdom. And you realize, just like with stuff, there's no way I could have a fleet of cars. Because I got to maintain them. I got to pay for them. I got to wash them. I got to wax them and do all that stuff, or I got to hire somebody. And I can only drive one car at a time. So I can understand maybe have, nice, sports car, then a nice luxury sedan, then maybe We got to haul some stuff, maybe a truck. Anything after that, oh, that's just extra work that I got to maintain. So I would like to have 20 cars. But do I feel, when I think about it, how do I feel? Yeah, I just give me 3 cars. I feel, so in other words, make sure that the future state is a feeling state. It's not a lustful state. It's not a state of greed. It's not a state, oh yeah, I can do. If you say, I want $1 million, you know why I stopped now? I already know that's part of my future. But I'm married to and comfortable with $400,000 at this level. So as I increase my feeling state, I increase my circle, my circumference. So my circle, my aura increases as the requirement increases. What does that mean? That means don't try to go from flipping fries at McDonald's to owning a McDonald's. If you just got hired at McDonald's and you doing fries, you might want to go from the fries to the grill and make patties. After you do that for a month, then go to the cash register. After you do the cash register for a month, okay, then be the manager of the front end, and customers and the lobby, take care of the lobby, and make sure the tables are clean after people will eat. Then after that, maybe you want to handle the back end. You want to order. You want to do all inventory, all shipping, all receiving. Then after that, maybe you want to go into advertising. You want to go into marketing. Look at the budget. Look at, okay, damn, that McDonald's signs. When do you turn it on? When do you turn it off? How do we market? How do we advertise? Before you go from flipping fries to being the manager, because you're going to bite off more than you can chew. You want to make sure that each step is a feeling state. And that feeling is magnanimous. It's a feeling of love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, and self-control. Because, see, your brain knows, even if you don't, what it feels like to be in that place. So even though I use Learjet, I don't really like to fly that much. I've flown a lot, courtesy of the military. I like flying because it saves time. You guys know I usually drive everywhere I go. Like when I went to see the Spans up in Maryland, I drove from Texas to Boise, Idaho. 32 hours one way. I drove. I could have flown. I drove to Cali multiple times. I drove to Vegas. I drove to Florida, bunch of times. I drove to Mississippi, bunch of times. Louisiana, but I do a lot of driving. Why? Driving is soothing. I like the way I feel when I'm driving. I don't really like the way I feel when I'm flying because my life is at the mercy of some fool that I don't even know. I don't know the damn pilot. Now, if I got a private jet, I'm gonna go to the pilot's house. I'm gonna meet him. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna talk to him. We're gonna become friends. I'm gonna know his wife and his kids. And I need to make sure this fool got his vested interest in my life. I ain't gonna just hire any Tom, Dick, or Harry. So make sure that your future state creates a feeling, because if it has a great feeling, it has a great possibility of manifesting, and the manifestation happens a lot faster. All right, brothers and sisters, I gotta get over here to the closing office and talk with the builder right quick, knock out this stuff, and I love you guys. See you guys later on tonight. God bless. Y'all know I love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it.